Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 296. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
I'm doing good. I like the energy you put into that, you know? I felt it.
Do you know what?
What?
I've got to start kicking it to Matt first. I have to start kicking it to
Why?
Matt first. Because I come in with a, hello, bam, 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 da, 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 podcast, yeah, let's go. And then I kick it to you and you're just like, hey man, I'm a skater dude or a surfer bro. And you're not either of those things, by the way. And you come in so low. And like, I need to kick it to the one and only Matt P. Video. How are you?
Good. Do I need to come in like halfway then? Do I need to come like a step down from you so that we can step down again?
So
and look, it's just a different energy. It's not less energy. It's just a different energy.
That's not what
now he's changing his story.
That weren't what you were saying before the show. Just saying.
I see how it is. I respect
want
that.
more context on that.
How are we all? I hope everyone's doing fantastically well. Welcome back, everybody. Big shout out to all of the new listeners. I'll be honest with you all. I kind of expected you to be here for 1 week and not ever again. But the numbers have been steady. The numbers have been steady. The growth has been amazing. Thank you all for supporting our humble little show here on youtube.com/myxboxandme. You can also find us on all podcast services. Remember, you can get the show early over on patreon.com/mcfixer if you would like to support it financially to help us keep growing. One day we will get a producer. That is the goal. Oh my gosh, that is the goal. And yeah, man, thank you. The one other thing I want to shout out before we get into the rigmarole of everything is the big one, podcast reviews. Shout out to my podcast reviews crew, because I went and had a look. You guys, I rate you lot. The 5-star crew, that's what I'm calling you guys. Also, shout out my potato crew, because you get, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
You know.
Shout out to Patreon producers this week, Aaron Guard, FNH Paul, and Lower Key Mike. Guys, we talk all things Xbox here. Let's do topic of the show nice and quick today. Let's just get straight into some thoughts. Me and Crash, we're having a little conversation in Discord, and he brought up that he's been playing Gears of War again. Correct?
Yep. That is
Good
correct.
Stuff. And I was like, you brought up the fact that, wow, we really didn't play a lot of Gears 5 this year. Gears 5 in general, when it came out. We played it through the campaign, either loved or hated the campaigns, depending on what side you sat on, or you could have been in the middle, you know. There's no rules here. And we really didn't play a ton of Gears multiplayer like we used to. We play a ton of 4 together, Crash. We didn't know each other for 3 or 2 or 1, but I've always played all of those games, the online, a lot. Got very competitive in it, and really enjoyed it. And we brought up the question, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I've had a vaccine jab since then, so forgotten everything. The crux of the question was, would Gears of War have done better if it wasn't a numbered sequel? Right?
No, I mean, we brought up that
question.
point. Yeah. Well, the problem is you stopped in the middle of saying your question, and we're like, maybe that's a topic for the podcast this week.
Exactly.
So I didn't hear the whole thought.
So my question is, this is the question. We've seen PlayStation. PlayStation have obviously come out now, right? We just watched the Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. Looks fantastic. Looks amazing. You cannot question PlayStation's games. It'd be stupid to, in terms of its level of polish and looks. And yes, there are problems with the game. Have you seen the new thing going around, which was like the animation of picking up a weapon? Did you see the fanboys get on that? Oh my god, it's getting so nitty gritty out there on these streets. Let me tell you,
That game looked phenomenal. Let's not
it did. But that's not what we're talking about.
Anyway,
we're talking about the title. So Horizon Forbidden West. God of War Ragnarok. Ratchet and Clank.
Not confirmed. Yes.
What do you mean, not confirmed?
Ragnarok has not been confirmed as the official name for that game.
God of War Ragnarok. Ratchet and Clank something in time. I don't know what it's called. I've got to be honest with you. Drift, that's the one. Okay. No numbers, though. No numbers in any of the titles.
Yeah.
And my question is really to the crew for topic of the show is, are as an industry, are we done with numbered sequels? Because although the argument's going to be, no, because numbers sell better, right? But are we moving away from that slowly? Even look at Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village, we'll talk about it later, I'm sure, now shipped to over 4 million copies. There was such a confusion about that game when it came out, which was, is it Resident Evil 8? Is it not Resident Evil 8? Yes, it is Resident Evil 8, but it's kind of not Resident Evil 8. Blah, 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 blah. Would Xbox benefit from doing what Sony is now doing with their new, not new IP as such, but their new titles, by distancing them from what numbers are? So it's not Ratchet and Clank 7 or whatever number they're on. Again, I'm not a PlayStation guy and I've never been a Ratchet guy. But God of War could easily be God of War 2. But I think it's going to be Ragnarok. We've seen Horizon. So my question with you guys is, should Xbox move in the same way? So the next Gears that comes out, should it be Gears, because they've dropped Gears of War, it's just Gears now, right? Should it be Gears : title of game? Or should it be Gears, where we're at, 6?
There's so much to discuss here.
Yes,
sorry,
that's why
Crash.
it's topic of the show.
Yeah, exactly. First off, I know there were people already in the comments saying Horizon Forbidden West. Whether or not you call it Horizon 2, in the official logo, there is a little 2.
Irrelevant. It's not Horizon 2.
All right, fine.
No, because this is literally what I'm talking. Resident Evil Village, there's technically 8.
Sure.
But it's not called Resident Evil 8. Yeah, so
I mean, they've done it with Halo. Halo Infinite is not Halo whatever it's supposed to be. And I think, it's interesting as these franchises get bigger and we get into the 7s and 8s, I feel like that's the point where you kind of have to drop the number. The number becomes something that's daunting to a new player. If this was Halo 8 or whatever it's supposed to be, that's more daunting than Halo Infinite, where you feel like you could jump in potentially having not played the others. Numbers, I think, help to a certain extent. There was a really interesting thing that came out about why Xbox is called the way it's called. The 360 and then the Xbox One and then the da-da-da-da-da. And supposedly that was because they never wanted to be behind PlayStation.
Yeah,
they didn't want to have a PS4 out with an Xbox 2 out.
Yeah.
Because people might think it's a worse console just because of that. And so there's really interesting psychology around it. And Crash, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go for it. What do you think?
I think Gears is kind of in a weird spot because they're in the middle of a trilogy. Yeah. So with the next one, I think they have to do Gears 6, right?
I agree.
I don't think they can go into Gears whatever it is because people are going to be confused. Is this the end of Kate's story? Where are they going with that? So I think for the next one, it definitely has to be Gears 6. But then after that, I really hope they decide to drop the numbers and it's Gears, whatever subtitle fits the game, the narrative, whatever sounds good. Because I don't think numbers are as important today as they were, because that's been shifting over time slowly. I think the only game going forward that'll have a number to it will probably be Final Fantasy at some point, where they'll be on Final Fantasy 26, because people do not care about the numbers on those. But we see it with Halo. Sony's been doing it for a while. I just think it's better because it doesn't sound as daunting. As much as we say, oh, numbers sell better, numbers also sound very daunting. Mm-hmm. Halo 4 is more daunting than a Halo Infinite, right?
100. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I agree with you. It was more I was posing the question about Gears than what I actually think would have happened. I think the big game changer here when it comes to, we're saying sales, right? We're talking sales. From a first party front, when it comes to Xbox, though, do they actually care about sales, or do they care about sending you a subscription? And then in that subscription, it is way less daunting to jump into Gears, Two Brothers and a Sister, than it is Gears 27, right?
Yes.
Like that is the, I think that's the luxury you have, which is like, oh, I'll give Gears Two Brothers and a Sister a try, where you're not going to give Gears 27 a try. There's no way, because you're going to be like, there's no way I can jump in at this point. I've even had people ask me that with Gears of War. It's like, do I need to play 1, 2, and 3? It's like, do you need to play them? No. To enjoy 4, 5, you do not need to play 1, 2, and 3. Will you get more out of it? 100%. Will some of the characters mean a lot more to you? 100%. But do you need to? No. I just think it's an interesting thing, and we're kind of in this weird place where, if we think about it, Perfect Dark, I don't think that'll have a number. Fable, I don't think that'll have a number. Obviously, then we're getting into the place of like, we've already know Forza's moving into a whole new way of how they're going to make Forza games by the looks of things anyway. More as a game as a service, live on Game Pass, get your tracks, get your updates, buy your expansion passes or whatever they want to do it. That's what it seems like. Nothing confirmed, obviously. So I think we are moving in that direction. I just wonder how long it will take before everybody moves in that direction. And is there anybody that goes, oh, I'm waiting on a sequel? Like, I don't think anyone's sitting around going, oh, Horizon 2, and I'm not buying it until the sequel comes out, right?
Yeah, I think most people, at least in gaming, who are waiting on a sequel on a game, probably know whether Horizon whatever is a sequel, and they'll probably treat that game as a sequel, even if it wasn't, right? They'll treat it as, oh, it's that same type of game, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a continuation of the story or whatever. Even if it's a prequel, I'm sure people would be fine because they're like, I'm still getting that same gameplay loop that I want.
I think we're seeing...
Sorry, please.
I think we're seeing big companies have a lot more trust in audiences as well, and treating them a lot less like children. I think the MCU has been a huge part of that. You know, we started with Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and now we're on Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, and there's no need to baby the audience. You know, that is a 28 movie long series at this point that people understand and people keep up with. And maybe not everybody keeps up with it, but this nerdiness, this like intrinsic nerdiness has become mainstream. And so audiences are just used to it at this point. They understand it. And like you say, I think stuff like Game Pass is going to change massively because you're going to be able to go to Game Pass and the Gears of War collection will be there, and it will lay out for you, these are the order that you need to play these games in. And there won't be any confusion around it because Xbox know the value in that, and it's easy to play all those games straight away right now on whatever console you have. And so them laying that out for you is super easy and clear. So why not?
Yeah, I just thought it's interesting. Would Gears 5 have sold better, and would we have played it more if it wasn't called Gears 5? Would it start to get the respect that it deserves?
No, I think Gears needs something intrinsically different about it. Either they completely revamp that campaign, or they add a BR mode. And I don't know necessarily how you would make a BR mode work or something like that, but I do think you need to do something different with the multiplayer. I think that it needs something different as opposed to getting the same thing we get every time, which is a really good campaign that's always structured the same. Because even this one, with the open world segments, it's still structured very similarly. And a multiplayer that's always really good, but is always the same thing still.
Yeah, I think Gears of War feels a little bit old-fashioned at this point. You look at Call of Duty when whatever Call of Duty was out around the same time as Gears of War 1, how far the online experience for that game has come, and Gears of War, to me, feels the same as it did back then. Most of the multiplayer feels the same.
Then you haven't.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely
disagree. It never meshed with me anyway. So you're right. I haven't put the same amount of time into it as a Call of Duty or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing that gets me.
Call of Duty still has the exact same thing. It still has team deathmatch. It still has all of the exact same modes that it had, but it evolved when it comes to battle royale. But it's the same thing. Yeah, okay, they did the 2v2 mode. Gears of War had Wingman. They definitely, both of the games have evolved. I think the problem in which what people find with Gears specifically is the fact of it is a brutal game to learn how to get good at. Wall bouncing, movement, shotguns, the Nashor, all of that. And that's been the same way since Gears 1. To be good at Gears, you need to know how to play Gears. Call of Duty, any dummy, no disrespect to anybody, but any dummy can pick up Call of Duty and figure out, all right, run forward, try to shoot the bad guys. Gears isn't that. It is flanking, it is the boom shot, it's the special weapons. It's when we play King of the Hill, we are communicating. It's like anything. It can be very casual, but very rarely do you find people play Gears casually, in my opinion. But yeah, which people got on me for the unlocked for saying my opinion. Which, F you guys, it's my opinion. But yeah, I just think that's an interesting conversation to be had. Sirens on my hand. To be had when it comes to, should we drop sequel numbers? I think we all come down on the question, really, is yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll start to see it a lot more, yeah.
Definitely. But should they?
Yeah. I think they should have dropped numbers so long ago. I'm not a fan of numbers. Plus, subtitles usually sound cooler, you know?
That's true.
I mean, look, we said it in there, right? I can see the business case for it. The Last of Us Part 2 means something, right?
That's Part 2.
That's kind of like the 2. That's
not 2. That's Part 2. It's the totally different things. Totally different things. There is a big difference because if you get not even Gears, like, look, do you know what? We're going around in circles, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Part 2, I think Part 2 makes more sense than just 2 because it's like, it's a very obvious, like, this Last of Us is such a different case as well, which is like, the story picks up. Yeah. Let's do this. We know what's gone down. Here we go. Part 2. It makes it very obvious. Where, like, a Tomb Raider or whatever, like, they drop numbers, obviously. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation to be had. Would love to hear the audience's thought. My Xbox and Me podcast at gmail.com. Speaking of the email, make sure you email in my Xbox and Me podcast at gmail.com for Fix the Sack, which we are jumping into right now, which is Toplift writes in with the news, Sony is set to slightly change the way they manufacture the PS5 to increase production and get more consoles on shelves. Do you think Xbox could follow suit in regards to the Series X? I have to say, I don't know what you're referencing. So, a link for this would have been nice. Toplift. I don't know what you're talking about in terms of, are they building the PlayStation differently or something like in terms of parts? I don't know. I personally, did you guys know what he's talking about when it comes to manufacturing, Sony, blah, 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 blah? Anybody? No? Yeah, I haven't got
apparently there's a PlayStation 5 redesign that's scheduled to go into production in 2022. I don't know much about it. I haven't heard anything really about this other than Toplift's question.
My short answer for this would be no. The reason we've just got part shortages right now. There's nothing wrong with the current design of the Series X. Not even enough people own it. Only if you change the design and the way it's manufactured, is it surely not still going to have the same problem in terms of getting parts?
Also, I'm pretty sure the reason there's a shortage is the chip, which, like, you can't change the chip. You can't change the chip. Yeah, so you can't change that. That'd probably remain the same, I'd imagine. If
you do have questions like this, anybody in the My Xbox and Me audience, and you want us to answer it, please give us a link to reference, just because I honestly hadn't even seen this and don't know what it is, so cannot answer it in the way in which I would have liked. Next question from Sarah Squid 69, who says, inExile is teasing a new FPS RPG. We know they're working on 2 games using the Unreal Engine 5, and one of those games is most likely Wasteland 4. But their second project we knew nothing about until now. My question is, what is the chances inExile is making a new Fallout game? The reason I ask this is because historically only Bethesda game studios worked on Fallout 3, 4, 76. Right now they're working on Starfield and already announced their next project being Elder Scrolls. They don't really do 2 development teams, so they'll be busy for at least the next 8 years. inExile has history with Wasteland, which is the predecessor to Fallout, as Fallout was made by the original inExile team after they lost the Wasteland IP because of legal stuff. We'll go from there because it goes on a little bit just talking about the history in which inExile have. Do you think inExile could be working on a new Fallout game? Matt P. Pregnant pulse.
No.
Someone's never
I don't know. Again, I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 on it, man. I'm going to say no. I think Fallout 76 was a nightmare. And I think they probably want to stay away from it for a while as a whole. And
until the next number game, right?
Probably. Yeah, until Fallout 5.
5.
Or technically it would be Fallout 6, because if you count 76 as 5. Anyway.
Well, no, 76 is a prequel.
Sure, but yeah, okay, yeah.
That's how numbers
They're
work,
not in
right?
there anyway. They should, with Fallout, they should just call it the vault number going forward, right?
That's actually
Like,
not a bad bet.
I
That'd be
like
too
that.
confusing. That'd actually be way too confusing. Unless
Fallout
it's Fallout
121 or something.
Yeah, that'd be confusing if you're just looking at a list of Fallouts and you want to get a sense of
That's
like
true.
what order should I
Including-
play this? Fallout 13's over here, and then Fallout
you're right.
121. But
That's
you
a
have to
bad
play
idea.
121
It
before
would be
13.
cool, though.
because that
I
came
can
out
see.
first.
I can see why it would be cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I suppose
I agree.
from a marketing perspective, it would be awful.
It'd be a nightmare. Yeah, that's a bad idea. But anyway, yeah, but the next one now has to then be called Fallout 77, right? By that logic. Anyway, I don't think they will, because I think Fallout 76 was a nightmare, and I think they probably want to steer clear of it. They want to get out Starfield. They want to get out Elder Scrolls. They want to get out a couple of other things to apply a bit of a cushion to say, look, no, we do still know what we're doing, and now we're
But
going
that
to go back
doesn't
to
apply
Fallout
to
and blow everybody away.
inExile.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It doesn't. But the mainstream don't know that a different team would be working on this.
The
than Fallout
mainstream
76.
don't give a fuck about Fallout.
That's
True.
Also, like
who
this-
we kid? Wait. Let's stick here for a second. Who
Yeah.
are we kidding here? The mainstream do not care about Fallout. Like Fallout
very
sells very well. Fallout is definitely, though, a niche market. That, don't get me wrong, it's a niche which is humongous. But if you're talking from a casual point of view, no, I don't think any of my friends could tell me what Fallout is.
no. They have a better chance of telling you what Skyrim is,
100%.
and particularly
100%.
Skyrim,
Skyrim
not
because
Elder
of dragons.
Scrolls.
No, because of
Yeah.
dragons, 100%.
Yeah.
No, just. But let's stick on the conversation of like inExile though. I agree with you, Matt. On, I think they should put Fallout to bed for a little bit. Let it go to sleep. Let it chill. Let it cool off. People who are enjoying 76, cool. They keep supporting 76 with a little bit of content here and there. Like, keep feeding that player base. But from a numbered point of view, or if they decided to go with the colon title as we would want, I think they should sit on it. Don't even put out another Fallout for a while, Xbox. Remember, this is Xbox that own this now. Sorry, Gresh.
Yeah. I think you have to remember that if inExile were to make a Fallout game, it wouldn't be in the vein of what Fallout currently is, the FPS type. It would be in the vein of like a Wasteland, which I think as a spin-off could absolutely work. I think people won't have a problem with it because, like, look at Fallout Shelter. People don't look at Fallout Shelter and like, oh man, this is really a downgrade in terms of the Fallout games or anything like that.
Well, the game started. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I never played 1 or 2 Fallout. Obviously, I'm a new Fallout fan. I didn't even play 3 or No Vegas. I only played 4, and 76 for a tiny bit. But they would be going home, right?
Yeah, they'd be going back to what they
they'd be
used to
going
be.
back to how Fallout started. So I think again, it's back to what Xbox can do really well, which is what they did with inExile, which the Outer Worlds did as well, which is keep the genre of game in which they make, right? But make them smaller, more digestible. I think that's where the industry is going. I think that's where Game Pass is going. I think that's where video games in general are going. I think as much as I love Assassin's Creed, especially the new ones, but every time I think about jumping back into Valhalla, I'm so intimidated. Yeah. So for me, if you're going to tell me you can give me an RPG experience, that's why I was so hyped for the Outer Worlds, which end up not working for me personally. But I'm definitely going to jump into Avowed. Because I'm expecting that sort of level of, instead of 100 to 200 hour experience, I'm going to get a 20 to 40 hour experience, which, don't get me wrong, I can still live within that world. I can still grind out all of the things we expect. But to answer Squid's question, no, I don't think inExile are working on the next Fallout game. I think Xbox need new IP. Xbox needs to be building their own IP, which they own Fallout. They don't need Fallout right this precise second. Fallout 5 will sell gangbusters when it eventually comes. So sit back, relax. This wasn't a $7.5 billion deal that was made to make money instantly, even though they've probably already made that back in other avenues. Like, no, they need a slow process. Get out Starfield, get out Elder Scrolls, then they start working on Fallout 5.
Yeah. Also, if we were to get a Fallout game, I would see Obsidian probably doing a Fallout game before inExile.
Agree.
A New Vegas too. Like Obsidian's also mentioned in the past they would love to make a new one. I think this falls right in line. It just depends right now. Will they outweigh Outer World with that, and like what does Microsoft want to do with it? And I'm sure they keep like that. The top people at Bethesda, like they sort of do decision making around those franchises as well. So
Yeah.
what do they want to do with it as well? So
we're getting really down the rabbit hole now. You just said New Vegas 2. Not only is it a spin-off, not only does it have a colon name, but now it's also a sequel.
Yeah, but I don't know if they necessarily call it New Vegas 2.
I think they
but,
would.
You know,
I think they
would.
would.
They would
I
as
think they
well.
would. Yeah, because you need that. I think that's one of the odd cases where I think it would work, because you would need to like, hey, remember that game that we made that everybody loved, absolutely thinks it was the best? Yeah, we need that namesake of like New Vegas, yes. 2, yes. Please, we need all of that.
or do they call it Fallout Old Vegas? You know.
Oh my
Oh,
god. New Vegas. Do it.
New
Nintendo.
Vegas.
Call it
New Vegas.
Oh, now we're getting nitty gritty. All right, let's move on.
state.
The one and only Xygers is back from the dead and reads out like this. Thank you for the question, Zag. We appreciate you. Square Enix just announced Dragon. Joe, don't highlight my ish. What are you doing?
Sorry,
What are
man.
you doing? What are you doing out here? Come on. Square Enix just announced 3 Dragon Age games coming to consoles. Dragon Age 3 HD 2D Remake, Dragon Age Quest Treasures, and Dragon Age Quest 14?
12.
Thank you.
12.
X is 10. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus
X
2.
is 10. Sorry, numeral rules kill me. The Flames of Fate. All 3 games are planned for a worldwide release, but Square Enix refused to comment on what consoles these games will be coming to. Man, this feels like it should be an angry voice. Like, why do you think
really
that is? Is it possible one of the big 3 are trying to buy exclusives? Nintendo and Dragon Quest have a history together, as does PlayStation and Dragon Quest. Microsoft has recently had a great relationship with Dragon Quest since multiple Dragon Quest titles are on Game Pass. Why is Square being hush about platforms unless there was a possible exclusivity window? What are your thoughts? Number 1, anyone a Dragon Quest fan here?
Nope.
Nope, but
I will say the new games look cool. They're done in the Octopath Traveler style, which I really like.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think I played Dragon Quest Builders in Egypt. That was like my experience in the Dragon Quest world playing it on Switch. But I think this is double fold, which is, I think one of the big 3 have definitely snapped up at least one of these titles for exclusives. Maybe the ink isn't done. Maybe there's still conversations about it. The quick and easy answer to this is money. To be honest with you, it comes down to money. It's either they haven't signed an exclusivity deal with somebody but are planning to, or they've already done it, but the ink isn't dry on the deal, and, these deals are super multi-layered. We've already seen it with what Sony have said about, like, games not being able to enter Game Pass. They probably saw that with Xbox taking all the Dragon Age games that they had and adding it to Game Pass much later, but still there, and they're like, well, we can't let that happen again, or we've got to put a year-long exclusivity, or whatever the deal is. So I think to answer the question from my perspective is it's down to money, and I would assume at least, if not all of these, at least 1 or 2 of these are exclusive to Nintendo or PlayStation. I don't think Xbox is in the market for an exclusive Dragon Age game, personally.
I have a different thought.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, rumors came out that we were supposed to hear about Nintendo Switch Pro very soon, if not today or tomorrow. And those rumors came out because apparently Nintendo were being pressured to put that announcement out so that people at E3 releasing trailers could say, our new game is coming to Nintendo Switch Pro. To me, this looks like exactly what is happening here. Maybe these games were supposed to come to Nintendo Switch Pro, and they're not allowed to say that yet, and so they're just not saying any consoles that it's coming to yet. And it leads a bit of
but that
validity to that rumor, I
easy
think.
to just go Nintendo Switch.
Sure.
And then it has, because it's not going to not play on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not going to not.
it's not.
It's not going to not play on those platforms. So I think it. Yeah, I don't know. You could be right. You definitely could be right. What are you going to say, Gross? Sorry.
I also just want to point out, like, we don't necessarily know how well it did on Game Pass.
True.
Because I think if Microsoft were to want this to come to their console, and were to really be pushing it, they'd be pushing it for Game Pass, and we don't know how well it did for Game Pass, and vice versa. We don't know how well it did for Square Enix, it being on Game Pass. So this might have been just a missed opportunity where they're like, we don't see this isn't working for either of us. Let's go separate ways. Also, like, Dragon Quest isn't really that popular nowadays, if we're gonna be honest, as far as RPGs go. Like, it's cemented in RPG history, right? But I don't really think it's like that big anymore for anybody to really be vying for it like that. And I could be absolutely wrong about that.
He said that, not me. I didn't say that. It was him. He said that at Christic Plays on Twitter. You can go find him. It's not big to us. I think that's always the thing to remember.
That's very fair.
Like, it's
That's
not
very
big
fair.
to us. So just because it isn't big to us, you would have said, I would have said a week ago Final Fantasy 14 was a dead game. And then I play Final Fantasy 14 now, and I'm like, oh my bloody god, this is ridiculous. Also, before I cut to you, Matt P, I'm disappointed in you two. Video people watching the video right now, let me know if you notice anything different about me.
Haircut.
Nope. The haircut, yes, but that's not the thing. Damn. That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart.
Not at all. What is it fix?
Let me know. If you know in the comments, let me know. That's all. Carry on,
Matt.
I gotta
Matt,
know
what was you
now.
gonna say? No, not my beard. Yes, I got my beard trimmed up and I had a haircut. That's not it.
You look
something
good,
else.
It's the glasses. The old glasses are back.
There you go, Matt P. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations.
I win.
There you go.
I win.
I was just waiting for someone to mention it so I could change.
I've lost track. I'll be honest with you. No. This is it. So what I was going to say is there might be some weirdness going on with exclusivity. Somebody may have booked a long time ago, oh, this will be a good E3 announcement for us to announce this is exclusive at our conference. And now this like weirdness with, is E3 happening? Is it not? I don't know. We're going to release a trailer on this day. Okay, well, don't say what console it's on because we're doing that at E3. Yada, yada, yada. Who knows? I think by the end of the summer, we'll know where this is coming.
Also, to be fair, Square Enix is doing their own show this year. So this could 100% be something that they plan to do at their show.
Yeah.
You got to have a reason for people to log in, right? So, yeah.
Exactly.
We've got two more questions. I'm going to read them both out one after each other because I just think we do this every week and usually I just skip them, but here you go. Top Left 91 says, why is it okay for PlayStation to have exclusive games, but the moment Xbox consider there is backlash over it, why is it okay for one but not the other? Because of bias in the industry.
Yeah. But there are more PlayStation fans who are newer to the gaming ecosystem, and yes.
I disagree with that statement. I think it's just they're more vocal. I think it comes down to just being vocal. It's something happens, and again, I'm not in the PlayStation ecosystem like that, but it always makes it onto my thread. Always makes it onto my thread on Twitter. Always. I always see it. Same with Xbox. I don't follow any fanboys. But it always makes it onto it. It's because people want to have that argument. They're not even a discussion. That argument.
Also, it gets to the point where like, oh, Microsoft did something. They're trying to make this exclusive. If I tweet about this, I'm gonna get a bunch of likes and retweets from people who don't even follow me, and I'm gonna end up in even more feeds.
It's very easy to get big on Twitter if you want to. Like, this is what I find ironic about people that say that certain things to me, like, oh, you bat for Xbox. If I just batted for Xbox, like, I'd be way bigger. If I just was like a Microsoft to the best in like literally everything I tweet is positive. I retweet all the crap about Sony that people make up. Like, no, I'm a very non-biased person. And like I said on Twitter, someone was like, thank you for not being biased along those lines. And I was like, I will not be biased to either plastic box that I do not have shares in. Let me tell you. But the moment I get shares, don't trust a word that I say. But I'd never do that. I've already said I'd never do that. I'd never buy shares in Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation just because I think it compromises me as a influencer. I think you instantly lose the thing that we have built here. But yeah, I don't even pay attention anymore. I've gotten to that point where I'm just like, I just don't care. Like, people want to get loud about Starfield being an exclusive, but then because they want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to bash Xbox and say, you got no games, but as soon as they get games, it's like, well, that's a game we wanted. So just ignore it is my thing. I just ignore it. I can't even bother with it. Can't even bother to engage in the conversation about it anymore. And Elder Slayer says, do you think Xbox will have any VR announcements at E3 this year? Maybe a partnership with Oculus or Valve? I've been doing that one for the last 6 years as well. No. Phil's come out and said it multiple times that he's not interested in VR yet.
I think we see HoloLens 3. And somebody's playing Minecraft 2 on HoloLens 3, and that's the big announcement. No, obviously I'm joking.
I believe at some point we will see a HoloLens 3. I don't think it'll ever be at an E3 stage.
Agreed. Yeah, it'll be the military and builders using it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Let's get into what's been in our box then, lads. Let's start off with Biomutant, because I think we can all touch that very briefly before we go. We put out our review over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/myxboxandme. We have a 33-minute discussion with myself, Matt P, and Crush. We all played different amounts of time with the game. Have either of you guys played any more since our discussion?
Nope.
I have a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I played another 2 hours. I restarted to try out some of the other characters, because one of the things that I took away from our discussion was that we were all playing it very, very differently. Yeah. And I didn't expect that. And so I thought, I'll jump back in from a fresh save. And look, in hindsight, mistake. We said everything we said in that review. The start of that game sucks. Mm-hmm. And so reminding myself of that didn't help. But yeah, I thought I'd try out some different play styles and stuff like that. And like I say, go watch the full review, right? Because we get into it there. But it's a strange game.
So yeah, just to summarize for people that are not going to go click it, Crush is beating the game and started New Game Plus. Matt P was about 16 hours, probably up to about 20 now. And I got about 6 hours in, give or take. We wasn't too hot on the game, any of us. I don't think we didn't trash it, but we definitely wasn't hot on it. It has a lot of problems. If you want the full in-depth of all that, go and check out the review. I don't want to go over it again and again on the podcast, because there's other stuff to talk about that we've played as well. Sure. But the one thing I will say is, how do you guys feel about, this is our first review, and I always get super nervous with reviews. Reviews are not my favorite thing to do, but when we are just small fishes in this pond, I guess, and we're just sort of getting our legs underneath us, but then you see everybody else put out their reviews and we're all along the same lines, it's like, oh, thank God.
We didn't do something wrong here.
Well, didn't do something wrong, because again, we're gonna have our own opinions, like if somebody loves something, we don't. But there's something weird about the reviews. All the reviews drop and it gets a bunch of 6s, and I'm like, that's exactly where we don't do numbers, but that's exactly where I would have put it if I was being paid to put a review number on it, right? So it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. Knockout City. Who's played?
I have played.
I have. All right, Chris, start us off. What do you think of Knockout City?
Boy, did I think this game was going to be like nothing.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be a simple dodgeball game. Like, this game is incredibly in-depth with the stuff you can do. You can pick up teammates, you can charge them, you can throw them, you can do little spin things that change how your ball throws. There's different tactics to catching it. An esports scene for this game would be fantastic. I don't think this game will last very long.
I agree.
No.
I think that's my biggest takeaway from Knockout City, which is, oh my God, it is way better than I was expecting. Oh my God, it's way more fun than I was expecting. Oh my God, I'm having a great time playing it. There's a Let's Play up on my More MC Fixer channel, youtube.com/MoreMCFixer. If you want gameplay, go check out that channel. There's a 17-minute Let's Play, I believe. Oh my God, I'm not playing it again. How does that make sense? It makes no sense, which is like, the only way you'll catch me play the game again is if you both come to me or another 2 friends comes to me and says, Fixer, I want to play Knockout City. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's play. But for some reason, I enjoyed my time with it, thought it was great, thought it was enjoyable, art style very nice, everything about the game works. And it is way better than I was expecting, but I have no real appeal to go play more of it. It's in Game Pass. There's a 10-day trial for you to play it for free. Cross-play, cross-progression. It has everything you want from a video game. and yet I still can't pull myself to go, I want to play this for 10 hours straight.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. Sorry, go on, Crash.
I was just going to say, I think I agree with you on the fact that I will only go back if somebody asks me to go back. I have
and I
no
wouldn't
real
be
drive
bothered
to go back
about
to
that
it.
either, though. It wouldn't,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go on, Matt.
I enjoyed my time with it. I played probably 10 matches, like, on my own, right? Not as, like, part of a team. And thought, okay, I see the appeal. I see that there's depth here that I could get into if I wanted to, but I'm not playing with people. I wasn't really having fun.
Ooh.
And so I put it down. And then I watched Kind of Funny play it for like an hour. And I was like, oh, this is it. Like, they're all communicating, they're all having a laugh, they're passing the ball to each other.
Yep.
I didn't have any of that in my game.
Ah, okay.
And I was like, obviously these kind of squad-based games are better with friends, right? I saw it sort of getting way better, right? And then it was like, oh man, Mesh is fixed, right? And we should jump on or whatever. That thing is always kind of difficult to do, right? And so if you're not keen to play it on your own, I typically don't think these games have too many legs or too much legs, sort of long-lasting appeal.
That's the thing for me, which is I played with FNH Ball, shout out, and Omega Mario from my chat, and we were destroying fools, like absolutely just destroying fools, communicating, passing balls. It was all of that. It was fun. That's the thing. But for some reason, I probably played about 3 hours of it. Like, had a great time with it, but it was just, for some reason, I was just like, oh, that's enough. And like it's a weird one where like a game can get everything right, yet it still doesn't click.
Does it have much in the way of progression? Are you unlocking cosmetic stuff as you go?
The whole time. You've got challenges that you do that unlock things. You've got levels. You're leveling up the whole time. It has all. That's what I mean. Like, it really does have everything that you would want from this type of game. And it didn't get its in Game Pass, so there's no barrier to entry for cost for me. It was just, but for some unknown reason, though all of it was fun, I just couldn't bring myself to, like, the next day someone was like, oh, the new season starts, like the season starts, I should say. Are you going to be playing more? And I was like, no, I'm okay. Like, I wouldn't begrudge playing it though if someone was like, and maybe it's just because I'm interested in other things right now, and a dodgeball game isn't one of those things that I want right now. Where Mario Golf is, when that comes out, I cannot wait. Or when PGA drops, or NBA, or FIFA, like all of those other games, I would be all over it, right? But for some reason, though it felt good, played well, looked amazing, and everyone should try it, still couldn't get me to stay. Weird.
I think the big thing for that game will be if it gets a pro scene, because I could actually see a pro scene being very interesting, and I think that's the only way it'll like really live, sort of similar to Rocket League. Because Rocket League popped off in the beginning. I don't think so either. I don't think EA does it.
EA are not good at. They're not even good with the FIFA pro scene. Like, how could you can't get the FIFA pro scene right? Like. I just don't think it would. But it's got ranked. I wonder how many creators. I think it lives and dies, in my opinion. I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm a creator myself, but I think it lives and dies by the creators. On top of that, in terms of the YouTubers and the Twitch streamers and obviously the Facebook gamers and YouTube, whatever you want to, wherever. I think it does live and die in their hands though, because as soon as they stop playing it, I think the conversation around it dies. It's all well and good, kind of funny, enjoying it right now, but as soon as the review season comes around,
100%.
right, I think a lot of people are going to drop off like very quickly. When E3 starts, who's going to be playing this game? I wonder.
Exactly.
Exactly. Chris, you played some Gears 5. We mentioned it at the start of the show. Is there anything else you wanted to
add? That game looks so good. That game looks so on the Series S.
Yeah.
That lighting in that game, and it was multiplayer, a constant frame rate. Like what?
120.
Coalition.
120 on that.
What Coalition's able to do on the Unreal Engine 4 just has me excited what they're going to be able to do on Unreal Engine 5 on a game that's dedicated to the Series S and Series X. Because, like, I still think, like, Gears 5 might be the best looking game on the Xbox, even right now. Do you think there's anything that looks better? I really just can't.
Got the best lighting. I think.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Oh, Resident Evil
So
Village
I
looks
really
very
can't
good.
think of it.
Resident
I haven't
Evil
played that,
Village
to be fair.
is very pretty.
Okay.
It's very,
Village is
very
good.
pretty. But that's more atmospheric. Is that a real word?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
And that also has ray tracing in it as well.
Yeah.
So it does have the benefit of that as well.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree with you that Gears is obviously beautiful. What made you go back?
I was just talking with Ben, and we've been like rotating the same cycle of games. It's been Smite, Apex Legends. We wanted something different. And we were
Yeah.
like, we haven't played Gears. We didn't really give Gears like the fair shot we should have.
Yeah.
We jumped back into it. It was a lot of fun the first day. The second day, we jumped back into it again. Even more fun. New game mode that is so fun. Gridiron, which is
Okay.
basically like a capture the flag, search and destroy mode.
Ooh.
It is such a cool mode. I actually think you would really enjoy it, Fix. I just don't know if you'd have time to jump back into it. Yeah.
Bro, a game that I'm not going to talk about in any depth here, but I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 right now, and like that's gobbling up all of my time. So yeah, it's a bit hard. And the last one on this list that you've got, and I'll ask Matt afterwards, Scarlet Nexus. You've played the demo.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's really good. The combat in this game is so good. It has all the like psychic abilities, which when you're watching the trailer and when they've showed the gameplay before, like they didn't really show how all those abilities work. So a lot of it looks like, oh, it's just timed QTE type of stuff, and
Yeah.
in a sense it is, but you really control everything you're doing, and it works and flows so good. All the combat, you're borrowing powers from some of your teammates. It's a really interesting game. I think even if you aren't super into anime games, you should definitely try out the demo because the combat itself might be very interesting to you.
It's coming out at a very good time though, as well. It's coming out at a good time when there's not much around it. So even again, I'm personally not usually interested in these type of games, but even I've kind of been looking at it, going, oh, maybe I should give this one a try. Maybe. People keep telling me I'm a weeb. I'm becoming a weeb. I'm like, what? I don't know what a weeb is. Number one.
You're not a weeb.
But people keep telling me because I play Final Fantasy 14 now. You know, shout out to Mia Winters, my character. She's amazing. But yeah, have you guys seen me just tweeting about her? I just keep tweeting photos of her.
When's the Mia Winters OnlyFans coming out, Fix?
Yo. Mia Winter's OnlyFans, Mia Winter's Twitter,
VTuber.
Bro, tempted. Matt P, what have you been playing, dude?
Beyond what we've talked about just then, not a whole lot. Finished my third playthrough of Resident Evil Village last night, and jumping straight back into my fourth.
Who would have thought
it?
Who would have thought? I've beat it once, and you've beat it 4 times.
3 times. Working on my fourth.
Okay, why? Are you going for the 1000G on it? What's the
Maybe.
Are you just playing it or what? What are you doing?
Just enjoying it. Like I'm on the hardest difficulty now that I'm jumping into.
Shadow Village.
I'm enjoying
Shadow Village, or is that what it's called? Shadow Village, I think it is.
Maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying going through the challenges and banging at the challenges, which are all tied to achievements, but that's not really the reason I'm doing it, and unlocking unlimited ammo, weapons, and just thoroughly enjoying that game more so than I ever thought possible. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, absolutely loving it. So still cracking on with it.
Damn. Dope. Yeah, I haven't played anything this week. Like I said, I got my jab yesterday, and I've just been playing a bunch of other stuff, not on the Xbox at the moment, because I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for things that interest me. So yeah, I've been. Do you know what? I suppose we can talk about this here. I played FIFA career mode. Finally been sinking some time into my FIFA 21 career mode. God, I hate EA. They just absolutely do not care. I love EA. I love EA employees. But from a point of view of like, wow, it's so telling that you just do not care about anything other than Ultimate Team. Because it just hasn't changed. Again and again and again. It's the same career mode since 2019. It feels exactly the same. Nothing has changed. It doesn't feel different. It's the menus feel the same. The look feels the same. And it's so disappointing that a game that could make... Did you see the article that came out or the numbers that came out about Ultimate Team? No. Ultimate Team 2021 to date has made 1 point something billion. And let me find it, because I think this is a great time to talk about it. FIFA Ultimate Team money Let's see if I can find the tweet.
That's
It's ridiculous.
a ridiculous amount. Yeah.
Like
I would have never thought it would be that high.
So it's got
crazy.
a breakdown of like. I really want to find this because I think it's a great thing to talk about. Which is FIFA.
While you try and look for that,
Please.
You're saying that the career mode hasn't changed since 2019. Are you looking for then like what was it called? Madden did a thing, right? They even called it something different.
That because they killed that was trash as well. FIFA did that; it was trash. No, I just want like a basic career mode, but with actually some level of detail played to it that actually is interesting. Here we go. So, how much does EA earn from Ultimate Team across FIFA, Madden, NFL? EA's net revenue from Ultimate Team across all three of those games, right? But majority of this is FIFA Ultimate Team. FIFA. 2015, 587 million. 2016, 660 million. 2017, 775 million. 2018, 1.18 billion. 2019, 1.37 billion. 2020, 1.49 billion. 2021, 1.62 billion.
Can I just say,
please,
all these sports game fans that complain about Ultimate Team, y'all are fake.
They're not fake. It's not. Do you know what, Crash? Once upon a time, I would have sat there and agreed with you. But it's not that. It's there's no competition out there for the FIFA license, right? So the only place they can go to play, we're talking about FIFA specifically because that's the one I'm more well versed in compared to the others. There's nowhere else to go. All we have is FIFA. And if you want to play a simulation football game, you have to play FIFA. And if you want to play a decent mode that gets any sort of updates and TLC to it, you have to play Ultimate Team. And if you want to play Ultimate Team, honestly, you have to put money into it. You gotta
spend money.
You have to spend money into it to be competitive. And everything that I just said is super scummy and super annoying and super frustrating. And I think that's what breaks my heart the most. When I see numbers like 1.56 billion and you can't even be bothered. And again, this is not a development thing. I generally don't believe this is the devs. I don't believe it's the devs. I believe it is EA saying, this is the thing that makes you have a job at this company. Make it make more money. Because because I think it comes down like this up at the very top, which is like, if you don't make us the money, we don't get to make It Takes Two. If you don't make us the money, we don't get to make Fee. If you don't make us the money, we ain't doing a single player Star Wars game. You have to. Unfortunately, that falls on I think it's Vancouver that make FIFA, the Canadian studio, which is crazy to have Canadians making a FIFA game, which they do a great job. Don't get me wrong, but it's that hook. It's that hook, and it's heartbreaking because again, I play career modes and I play pro clubs. Those are like my two modes that I've started playing more because I'm not touching Ultimate Team. I refuse. I do not have that sort of disposable income where I can spend that amounts of money on packets of cards that do not matter and don't transfer over after the next year. You know, like it's become its own monster, Crash. Like it used to be just gold, silver, bronze cards. Yeah. Now it's Team of the Week, Team of the Season, Barclay Cards Premier Special, Primes, Icons, this, that, and the other. It's just it's grown. There's like 60 different cards for one player. It's just it's become so disgusting.
Wait. Players have multiple cards?
Yes.
What?
So if you could get like who would you know? Let's say David Beckham, right?
Messi.
So Messi, perfect. Messi, Ronaldo. So there's a gold Ronaldo, and then there could be a Team of the Week Ronaldo, which means then they could be a Premier League, obviously Ronaldo or Messi's not in the Premier League, but you know what I'm trying to say here. Premier League Team of the Season card. Then there could be a rewind Cristiano Ronaldo card, all with different stats.
That's crazy. So you really can't play Ultimate Team without putting money into it?
No, not anymore. Once upon a time you could have, not anymore.
That's crazy.
I
didn't know it got that crazy.
They've done a better job of progression. I'm sure we've lost a bunch of listeners here, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
They have done a better job with progression, but it still isn't great. We'll move on, though, because I'm sure a lot of people just don't give a crap. This week's dashboard. This week's dashboard is the news of the week. First one, Xbox and Bethesda have confirmed their Xbox E3 Conference, which is going to be held on June 13th at 10 a.m. PT, 6 p.m. GMT. Brilliant time for the UK. Brilliant time.
Great
very
time
happy.
for us.
Yeah.
Very happy. Very happy. Let me say.
I did the time difference. I'm not 100% sure if that's 100% correct. It might be like an hour off.
No, I think you're right.
I think that's correct. I think that's correct, but I'm not 100%.
I think you're 100% right. But I think it's BST, by the way.
BST.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're in British summertime right now.
I don't know the difference
You
between those two.
Crash, should I let you into a little secret? I didn't even know British summertime existed until 2 years ago.
Got it. I'm gonna be honest. When I was working with time zones, because ever since me and you have been playing games, like it confused me so much when it went from BST to GMT, and that there was a difference between the two.
Crash, I didn't know there was a difference. That's not a lie. I swear to you. That's how dumb I am. Matt, you pull your faces. The truth is, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Real dumb.
You knew this, Matt?
Yeah, you are definitely not on your own. I'm sure.
There's other dummies out there.
And this is the first year of my life that it's like impacted my life, like in dealing with embargoes and events and da.
Yep.
This is the first year, and people get it wrong all the time. PRs get it wrong in emails constantly. We get it wrong on Slack, talking to each other. It's. Why don't we just have one world time? You know,
who's gonna take the morning
UK,
being the sundown?
UK, obviously. We're so
no. UK, we're 000, right? We're GMT, right? We're 000.
That's true. We are.
Everybody else is +1 or +4.
That's very true.
-4, whatever.
He's
so
right.
we'll keep it like that. And correct.
Yeah,
be up
but you
between
see,
the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. It doesn't make a difference for you.
That's actually very true.
It wouldn't make a difference.
But the problem is, anywhere you go in the world, they feel like they're the center of the universe. You know how everybody used to think that Earth was the center of the universe?
Sure.
And so for everybody in every...
Not me, Crash. I don't believe that. I'm not the center of the universe. Just so you're
But we are 000.
Okay, what's the extra thing you're throwing in there?
What do you mean?
Is that just your statement?
That's my statement.
I was expecting you to brag about something about yourself there. No,
I'm very self-aware in that regard, that I am not the center of the universe.
All right.
So, there you go.
I respect that.
I'm very humble, Crash.
Matt, on the other hand, center of the universe.
100%.
There you go.
100%.
Guys, are we excited for E3? I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
Too excited.
Yeah? You need to calm down.
You
need to calm down. Let me tell you, you need to calm down.
I got a question for you boys. Does an hour and a half seem on the short end of it?
No, perfect. Again,
no.
90 minutes. Aaron Greenberg confirmed it in a tweet.
Yeah.
It's going to be 90 minutes, games focused. He also responded to my tweet because we follow each other. Humble brag. That he's excited to see my reaction. Choo choo. I'm happy.
I am also excited to see a reaction.
Maybe we'll see some gifs made of your reactions.
Hopefully. Mama Crocodile, get on it.
Yeah, no, I think 90 minutes is perfect. I was when they announced it was going to be a joint thing, I was kind of expecting 2 hours, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty happy they're keeping it to 90. I think that's a spot on time in them. Like you say, if anything, too excited. The expectations getting out of control. I know the hype is too much. I just can't stop myself.
You need to bring them down. You need to bring
I think you need to bonk yourself on the head every time you get hyped.
Bonk.
The issue is as well, like we saw the Horizon Forbidden West State of Play yesterday. I think that was as close to a perfect version of that as it can be, right? Like, I think it was paced incredibly well. Everything was very exciting to see.
That was one game.
Yeah, that was one game.
And this is what I mean when last week we talked about, is it a good idea for them to be joint? I would rather Xbox split out this all over E3. I would rather 3 weeks of smaller events.
You're
like
100%
wrong. For Halo.
That's last year. That's what we did last year. It was a mess.
That wasn't even because he's not even saying that. He's saying that let's say we get Everwild gameplay. He wants that on Monday. He wants Halo on Tuesday. He wants what? No. That's the whole point.
He's back to thinking about what works best for the SEO.
He's back to thinking about what works best for him, and that just doesn't work for everybody. That doesn't. You'd lose too many people. You'd lose too much stuff.
Yeah, you don't keep all the hype, especially for like Everwild. Like, sure, there's gamers that are excited for Everwild, but there's a lot of people that would watch the Xbox conference that probably don't really care about Everwild as of right now.
Me, pick me. I couldn't give a crap about Otherworld right now. They haven't shown me anything. And if they would have put it, don't get me wrong, I'm in the industry, so it's a bit different for me. I would go seek it out because it's part of my job.
Yeah.
But other people wouldn't seek out that information. You're totally wrong, Matt. Totally wrong.
Okay.
Your opinion's wrong. Okay?
You're entitled to your opinion, though, Matt.
Go on, speak. This is your playground.
I think that look, 90% of people who watch whatever Halo Infinite trailer comes out over E3 are not watching it on the live stream. 98% of people are not watching it on the live stream. They're watching it after on an IGN. They don't even know that E3 is happening.
Okay, so, you just contradicted yourself.
Yeah.
You totally just contradicted yourself. I agree with what you're saying in terms of 90% of the people are not watching it live during the conference, blah, 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 blah. That's the hardcore. But they're sure as hell not going to IGN. They're seeing it on Lad Bible posting the post or wherever else. Not IGN.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Agreed. I just meant, they're scrolling through Facebook and it pops up.
Yes, perfect.
Is kind of what I meant by that.
Yes, yeah.
And so I think by splitting it out, you can what's the word I'm looking for? You have more control over the messaging and the timing and the targeting a specific audience. And again, I've got my SEO hat on here, and so
I disagree though. I think maybe you would see numbers wise. I think it would maybe do better, but for a pure hype perspective, like there are games I have bought on off of just pure hype of like. Every Nintendo conference that I react to, right? I couldn't give a crap about half the Nintendo games that come out, but I buy them all the damn time and play them for about an hour. Just because they package it in a Nintendo Direct. That's the truth of it. Like, I've been so close to buying Dragon Quest before and Project Octopath Traveler and all, but just for the pure fact that, I saw that during that conference and I really like the look of it. And I buy it and go, this isn't even for me. Why the heck did I buy this? It's like you get caught up in it and it does flow through you even for when the game comes out as well. But let's get off of this and talk about...
Okay.
I would love for the audience to email in next week or tweet at us or post in the Discord channel or whatever, your E3 predictions. What I would love here we go. So... I would love, number one, I know people are going to be looking, I don't want to do this. I'd love a video of you, preferably, either way you want to shoot it. I'd prefer it to be landscape, but whatever. No, portrait. Which one would I want? This
landscape.
Way. Landscape, thank you. Again, I'm dumb. Landscape, preferably, but I understand if you don't. Keep it concise, 10 to 20 seconds. Hi, Jarvis679, and my big E3 prediction is blah, 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 blah. Boom. Keep it moving. Yeah. But we would love to showcase you guys. Like, we're not just building this for you guys just to listen. We love it when you interact. I think we've all been saying the interaction from my Xbox and me as of lately has been absolutely phenomenal. I've had so many more people tweet at us with the potato joke. Again, if you know, you know. Or the TikToks and all that stuff. Like, it really has started to grow into something else. So we'd love to feature you on the show next week. So get them in before Friday of next week, and we'll make sure we record on Friday, giving you plenty of time. But yeah, email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com or tweet it at us or Instagram me, DM me, or whatever. Just get it to me somehow, and I will get it on the show for your predictions. So we'll do our predictions next week, right?
Yep.
Yes, I'm excited for it.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm excited too. Next one. Microsoft publishing future integrations. Is that right? Iterations, thank you. Of the Outer Worlds. Again, I haven't read any of these articles, guys, so you're going to have to carry me this week. I didn't even know he was doing the show this morning.
Crash, what's it all about?
No, I'll read it. It's fine. I've got it. Microsoft has officially taken over publishing... Microsoft has officially taken over the publishing rights for the future iterations of The Outer Worlds from Private Division, and that news arrives a day after Take-Two Interactive president said the company was fully committed to the franchise. During Take-Two Interactive's Q4 2020 earnings call via Seek Alpha, CEO Zelnick confirmed that The Outer Worlds has sold in more than 3 million units since it was released in October 2019. Later in the call, Take-Two president Carl Staloff answered a question about Obsidian Entertainment developing game, stating that the company was not only excited about the future of The Outer Worlds, but happy to be a part of it. Be quiet, Siri. My bloody watch. That was written by Adam Bankhurst over at IGN, by the way. But Microsoft has snapped it up and said, hey, no thank you. We'll take that. Big news.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, the next one's not coming to bloody PlayStation or anywhere else. So, yeah, big news, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure they tried. They were like, we could really keep publishing this for you guys if you want. We don't mind.
It was like, well, Microsoft Publishing might have a problem with Game Studio Publishing or whatever it's called now. Might have a problem with that. We'll be honest, but yeah, no, we own this. We'll be taking over the publishing. Thank you very much. This was them talking to shareholders at the end of the day and be like, hey, we've got this. Don't worry. And then, sorry, we don't have this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't got it.
They don't got it. Moving on, Far Cry 6 gameplay reveal announced for this week. Ubisoft has announced that Far Cry 6 worldwide gameplay will be revealed on May 28th, 2021 at 9:30 AM PT, 12:30 ET, and 5:30 BST. I'm going to miss it, guys. I'm doing a talk at university, so I'm going to miss it. I'm not going to get to watch it live, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, by the time you're listening or watching to this podcast, it's probably already happened. So
yes.
go check it out and tell us what you think.
This was more to let you know why we're not talking about it this week.
Yeah, I think.
We'll be
did you
talking
see
about
the
it
leak?
next week, I'm sure.
Did you see the leak that came out?
Oh, I did not see the leak.
No.
Yeah, some YouTuber already leaked it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he accidentally.
Oh, dear.
I think he may have accidentally put his video up a day early. Which, trust me, as somebody who has been given live assets like that before, it's one of. Do you know what? It's one of the most nerve-wracking things ever. Like, again, I'm sure we can talk about even here by ourselves, which is like, we're a team of 3 people, obviously. And we did the Biomutant review. And it's like, I'm in the middle of streaming. So Matt's like, don't worry, I'm going to take over and publish this. And then I'm like, I'm trying to publish it and it's not going live. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And Matt's like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? In the group chat, he's like, it all becomes just a whirlwind. So, yeah, I can, because I don't set things for schedules because I don't want it to be a leak like that. Forget that. I'd rather know the date and time in my head and go and do it manually. Like, nope, I'm not going to be the guy that breaks embargo. No way. I've been on the 100%. Dark side of some companies before. I'm not going back. We don't speak of them.
We've all heard horror stories about people accidentally leaking stuff in some of the most contrived ways. Like, there's no way you meant to do it. Like, it was a total accident. It was a total mess up. But
putting things in playlists, but unlisted. So then someone goes through the playlist and finds it.
Somehow YouTube finding it on the back end and saying it's a suggested video to this other bit. Like, God, a nightmare. And so, it's always better to be safe than sorry with these sorts of things. And again, dates and time zones, so many people muck them up.
Yep.
And so it's not shocking to see that it was leaked. But I haven't seen the leak, so I think I'll just watch it live in a few hours.
Yes, enjoy. We'll talk about it next week.
Exciting stuff.
Resident Evil Cross Dead by Daylight crossover event was announced. I've watched the full gameplay for it. I'm absolutely shocked in how in-depth it is, Crash. Did you see it?
Me too.
Yeah, there's like zombies and stuff. I was not expecting all that stuff.
Forget the zombies. Man. That's not the thing. Yes.
Did you watch the map.
Yeah.
No, I did not watch your reaction.
Okay. So I had no expectations for this. I expected it to be a couple of skins, and I assumed we would get Nemesis. Yeah. I'll be honest, because Nemesis makes sense, right? But it is a full map of Resident Evil 2's RPD. But it's not just a little bit of it. It is a full. From what I saw, it was the entire map, like created. The outside area. All of the offices have been made to make it work within Dead by Daylight. Honestly, this is how you do crossovers in games. Which is like, you put the time, you put the money, and you put the effort in. And honestly, and it's worked. I'm going back. I'm going to be playing the crap out of it, obviously. Cannot wait to get people involved. I'm buying the DLC if I've got to buy the characters and the skins, and just to support them and say thank you for doing this, because honestly, I was blown away by it. If you watch my reaction, you can probably tell where I'm just like, what? And what? And what? And oh my god, it's when they went outside. When they went out to the outside area, I was just like, what the hell? It's like they gave them the map and went, yeah, do your thing. Like, it doesn't look quite as graphically amazing as it does, obviously, in the RE engine and stuff, which that's totally acceptable. I understand that. But just the sheer fact of, like, I get to go into a world that I know in a totally different game, and it all works. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's super exciting. And yeah, like you say, mind-blowing. I never thought they would go into this level of detail. It looked quite interesting to me, and this is remembering RE2 Remake, which I haven't played in a little while, but it kind of felt like, oh, some of these areas are a little bit wider, probably to help with the mechanics of Dying Light, and obviously you've got the generators and the boards that you can pull down to get away from the killer and this kind of thing. But the way it's been implemented is fascinating. I want to see like a no-clip documentary on the process of that, right? Because you're right, they must have just been sat there mapping out RE2 Remake themselves, or they got the assets from Capcom, I don't know, but it's spot on. The level of detail is insane, and to make it work within the Dying Light world, it looks awesome.
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, keep doing that.
What I think made it more real and amazing and noticeable for me personally was just like the level of detail. Like, it would have been so easy to mess up. Like, this is there and that's not there and this ain't work and blah 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 and that room's in the wrong place. And don't get me wrong, I know it's probably like wouldn't have been a big deal, but the fact that they didn't mess it up, and again, I haven't seen it, I haven't played it personally myself. I would have loved to, but I only got to watch the 5-minute gameplay they put out. I cannot wait to run around and play it. Like, oh, just gonna be amazing. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I just want to give like Dead by Daylight a huge shout out, because what they do with like the horror games, like with all the features and crossovers they have, I don't think there's anybody that does it quite like them, and they do it in a really, really interesting way to bring sort of the movie fans and the fans outside of just gaming into gaming.
It works.
So I just want to give them a huge shout out.
The thing.
They do it very effectively.
After we've seen games like Evolve and other games like the 4v1 and like but again, I think it comes down to the creators again, where it's like on Twitch that game still does gangbuster numbers. Like, people are still playing it day in, day out, all of the time. So they just got a community that cares, and that's the most important thing for me. It's a community that cares. So obviously you've got Jill, you've got Leon, you've got Nemesis. Nemesis looks like the weakest point of that whole thing they showed, to be honest with you. If I'm being totally honest, like, him as a killer doesn't look that fun to play, but everything else they've built looks amazing. Again, they
have to pigeonhole it into what Dead by Daylight is, right? Like, they can't give Nemesis a rocket launcher, and it would just be broken, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to the gameplay. Exactly. So so yeah, they have to kind of make it work within the world, and I think they've done, from what we've seen, they've done a bang-up job of that.
Exactly. Next up, sorry if I'm really going to get super nerdy. We're going to actually see RE Nemesis, Remake Nemesis in the RPD for the first time, because it's not in it in 3.
Is that exciting for you?
For me, it is, yeah. Like,
it's just weird.
But he is in it in the original RE3. So to see a version, not my version, but a version of Nemesis in the RPD is cool. It was cool seeing it. I think I didn't talk about it in RE Versus. He's in it in there as well. That's probably where they used the map from.
Oh, maybe.
I bet that's how they've used the map. At least a version of it. Because those rooms are different and stuff as well. Oh, I might have to come up with a comparison video. I'm such a nerd, I'm sorry. Next up, Dying Light 2 gets a new title and a release date. Dying Light 2 has been renamed to Dying Light 2 Stay Human and will be released on December 7th, 2021 for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, and PC. Techland premiered a new gameplay trailer that showed off the current state of Dying Light 2, along with a new story synopsis. Quote, Players will take control of Aiden Caldwell, a survivor trying to piece together his past. Three factions are vying for power over the scrap of civilization. Aiden can work for or against each of these factions to help shape the story, but at night, all three factions are at the mercy of the zombies. Did either of you guys check out the gameplay?
Yeah,
It,
I
indeed.
did.
Yeah, I got sent. I got sent go on. Sorry.
No, you go. You go.
I was gonna
you
say I
go.
got sent a package from Techland, actually from Intel, to show off the release date and all that stuff. Bro, like I've seen some content creators make like whole unboxing videos from that. I was like, I could never get a 10-minute video out of just 2 posters and a flashlight. How would I pull out a whole 10-minute video from that? I was like, TikTok, social content. Yeah, that's good. I did a good job. I'm seeing all these other creators. I'm like, how did you pull a 10-minute video out your butt cheeks about that? Amazing. I love them. I love them.
You need to pin it up on
Gotta
the
do
wall
it
with
nice
all the
and
red string.
slow.
I've really got to start becoming more YouTubey. Like, and really play into the character of it all, I feel like. And just, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, back to the game itself. Go on.
Everybody says they like your content for the authenticity.
True.
So don't start going mental with this sort of stuff.
I mean,
But maybe that's authentic to fix, you know?
it's not.
Hey.
If you catch me pretending to be a detective, know that I'm doing it for the views. I'm doing it for the views. Are you excited for Dying Light 2 finally? Because we've finally seen more of the game compared to what, you know, we've been waiting for. We've been waiting a long time to see more of Dying Light 2. We've got the release date. Does it get pushed? I don't think so. I think this has been very calculated in the way they've handled all of this. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to playing it. I hope it doesn't make me sick this time, or if I can turn off motion blur straight away.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Dying Light 1 because it made me sick.
Yeah. But you don't know if that was the motion blur, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, so hopefully it was the motion blur, and hopefully this game's better. I will say the gameplay looked really cool. It looked very clean.
Yep.
It looked improved from the last one. I'm actually excited. I enjoyed the last one as well. I'm excited to jump into this one as well.
Yeah. Is this co-op?
It's that. I don't think so.
I don't think they mentioned anything about co-op. I wouldn't be surprised if they add co-op at a later date in this.
Got ya.
With an update.
Like they did with Watch Dogs and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
thought
that.
the gameplay looked great, and it's got me excited for this game. You know, like it's had a very, very troubled development, right? And so it's been a bit all over the place, and so I've been worried about it. But yes, this gameplay looks great, and I'm excited to jump in. December, I feel like is quite a good time for it as well.
Hopefully. Depends on what comes out around it, because we've still got a lot of things that are going to come out.
true.
The only problem with the release in December is you can't get Game of the Year for Game Awards. So it'll probably get pushed to next year's, which never bodes well for a game to get pushed the year after it's already come out in the previous year.
You'd be lucky to get a nomination with that.
Yeah. So even if it's the best game ever, it just gets lost, unfortunately, because new game's new, old game's old, unfortunately. A few quick fire pieces here. Destiny 2 crossplay beta coming out next week. Obviously, this is one people have been absolutely waiting for, to play crossplay. I know it's something I've been waiting for. And I've had a few people say to me, now's a good time to play Destiny Fix. Like, now there's a lot of content out there for you to play. And I'm like, maybe now is the time. And we've cultivated a little bit of a community of people now with, like, Final Fantasy. I wonder if we can now create that same sort of community with Destiny and like finally start raiding and, you know, doing all these cool stuff in the game, not all the boring stuff.
Yeah. Especially when it's crossplay. Because I think one of the biggest, like, it was always one of my biggest issues whenever I wanted to get a group of people to play was, I'm on Xbox, I'm on PlayStation, I'm on PC. It's just hard to get people together at the same time on different platforms. You can't even do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a little bit more
Bungie.
Sorry, please, Matt.
I was just going to say, I think I'm on a bit of a delay to you guys, unfortunately, but I was big into Destiny back in the day. And so, yeah, if you want to jump in and have a little Sherpa through some of the raids, I'd be more than happy to do that with you.
Maybe. I'm still a bit...
You sound like you don't trust me.
My Xbox and me raids, you know.
Well, how many more do we need? We need 3 more, right?
3 more.
Yeah.
See, that's hard. Getting 3 people in the same time zone is the hard part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's not wrong.
Next Bungie
Pix will
game.
pay you guys the same rate he pays us.
Nothing. Next Bungie game is next project is seemingly a character-focused multiplayer game. A job listing went up advertising this, and yeah, I'm so done with rumors and stuff like that. Where like it's cool to get things confirmed and stuff, but I'm just like, just wait for it to get announced. Just wait for it to get announced. I don't wanna mess around with, oh, this might happen, this might not happen, this is going down, that's going down. Like, just give me the game, let me see the game, focus on making your game, and I'll focus on playing it when it comes, you know? That's kind of where I'm at with this sort of thing at the moment. Last two pieces are 3 radical reforms to make a new entry in the Time Splitters world. Any Time Splitter fans? Crash, you a Time Splitters fan? No? Matt?
Pix?
Yeah.
No, but I saw everybody getting very, very excited around this online, which got me excited, right? Like people being this hyped for a revival of a game like this, surely can only be a good thing. Or the famous last words, I'm sure. Now, it will be terrible, and it will all be my fault that it's terrible. But yeah, seeing people get this excited got me excited, so I'm keen to see what comes of it.
Next up, Sonic Central stream happened. Everything Sonic related. We got new Sonic game being made by a Sonic team on both Series X and Series S and the Xbox One. You got Sonic Colors remastered. You've got Sonic Origins. I don't know what any of this is because I didn't watch this. But
Compilation.
Yeah.
It's like the first 3 games. Sonic and
1, 2, and
Knuckles. And I think there's one more game in there as well.
Sonic Animated Short was also released, and we got a cameo for Sonic in 2 Point Hospital and Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. And last but not least, we are getting a new Netflix show for Sonic. Is Zelda bigger than Sonic? Sonic? I saw this going around on Twitter and Greg Miller's Twitter. Like, who's bigger, Sonic or Zelda?
Sonic. 100%. Sonic's got the movie, it's got the animated shows, it's got the legacy. In the mainstream, it's Sonic.
I think that's been changing quite a bit. I don't think Sonic will be more popular than Zelda for too much longer.
The issue here is the definition of popular. Is it liked? Is it liked, or is it known by more people? They're 2 very different questions. If it's known by more people, it's definitely Sonic. If it's beloved, it's definitely Zelda.
Yeah, but I think Zelda's getting up there. I agree with you, but I think Zelda's catching up quite a bit. Because I was going to
say Zelda could get there very easily with a Netflix show, and then I think it's a much closer race. But yeah.
Games with Gold this month. The King's Bard, June 1st to June 30th. Dungeons 3, May 16th to June 15th. Shadows Awakening, June 15th to July 15th. 360 games. New Geo Battle Coliseum, June 1st to June 15th. Injustice Gods Among Us, June 16th to June 30th. Guys, can we just stop with the Games with Gold? I'm so done.
Injustice is good.
Can I just... you say Injustice is good. I want to bash the fact that Injustice is on this, because it's not even with the DLC characters. You get the base game, and that's it. No thank you. I don't like games with gold.
I'm at that point.
Yeah, alright, fine.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm done. I'm done with Games with Gold. I'm done with it. No thank you. I'm at the point where I'm not going to read it again next week now. So, okay. I feel like just dropping the whole segment. Like, why remind people every week of the Games with Gold, and all we do is sit here and bash them?
That's true. Maybe we only talk about it if something cool gets added there.
Well, no,
so we'll never talk about it again.
I think we could talk about it in the news. Oh, that was
mean.
That was mean. That was mean. We'll talk about it as the news article, but I'm not repeating them anymore. No one cares.
Okay.
Let me know.
Fair.
My Xbox Me podcast at gmail.com or the Potato Squad. Let me know if you care about Games with Goals, you know? Let me know. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. Crash, what have you got to plug this week?
I want to plug My Xbox and Me YouTube page. We put up the Biomutant review like we talked about earlier. Feedback on that, and how do you want us to do reviews in the future, what you guys liked, what you guys disliked, what you guys would love to see. That's all great. I also want to shout out everybody who's been giving us feedback and commenting and all that stuff. It's been super hype. Comments everywhere. The TikTok's been popping off. I see the TikToks. I see comments going on in there. Comments on the YouTube. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah. Matt P?
Yeah, I want to just reiterate that. Please do go watch the Biomutant review. It's the first time that we've kind of, normally we would have spent half of this show talking about Biomutant. And so to be able to kind of put that in its own thing, I think is beneficial. But at the end of the day, we want your feedback on it. And so please do, go check it out and let us know what you think.
You can find both of them on Twitter at MattPVideo and at CreshNitPlays. You can find me everywhere at MCFixer. Honestly, it's just been a great time doing the podcast as of lately. E3 is upon us, which means it's going to be a lot of late nights, a lot of hard work. As much as it's always fun to do, a lot of work goes into it. We don't even know what we're doing yet in terms of, are we going to do breakdown coverage? Are we doing reactions? Are we doing pre and post shows? We don't know. We are figuring it out. We're going to have a conversation with it literally after this to figure out what we want to do. And as soon as we know, you will know. But hopefully you will come along and celebrate with us, because that's what it's all about. This community is about celebrating each other, building each other up, not putting each other down. So keep being amazing. Shout out to Potato Squad. And until next time, I will love you, leave you, and see you later. Goodbyes.
Bye.
Love you, bye.